Hello everyone and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of VinTalks Podcast. On this episode, we have with us Ms. Bharathi Subramanian, someone who has been in the scientific background and now is an entrepreneur in the field of aerospace and defense. Before we dive deep into a conversation with her, let's have a brief intro. Ms. Bharathi Subramanian is a distinguished professional in the field of system engineering with over 29 years of experience, primarily within the aerospace and avionics sectors. She completed her Master's of Science in Computer Science from the Mysore University in 1990, building upon her foundational knowledge in physics, which she obtained as a major during her undergraduate studies. Her commitment to excellence in research and development has been recognized with the prestigious Dr. Byron Roy Trust Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Light Combat Aircraft LCA program at the Aeronautical Development Agency in Bangalore. Bharathi's diverse career path has seen her excel in critical roles, including being a scientist at the Indian Defence Research Organisation DRDO, manager at HCL Technologies and Thales Software India, and leadership positions as Vice President and COO at N-Tier Business Solutions and CEO at startups Avignaa and TechWorks and Tamopahaa Technologies. Her entrepreneurial vision at Tamopahaa is driven by a desire to foster innovation and develop world-class technological products in the areas such as IoT and embedded systems across multiple domains, including aerospace, healthcare, and alternative energy. Bharathi is passionate about empowering Indian talent to establish a pioneer presence in advanced technology sectors, ensuring that India continues to cultivate solutions and products that address complex global challenges. Her unwavering commitment to fostering collaboration within cross-border teams reinforces her dedication to innovation, technological advancement, and competitive engineering. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am, and welcome to our podcast. And I was very much looking forward to talking to you. It's so rare to find women in a very highly technical field, and especially in segments that are called strategic, say a defense or something to do with healthcare. It's quite rare to find. Lately, I feel there are more women, but from the time that you started, I think it was a very tough start. And wading your way through all this and the place you are today, I think it's very commendable. And I'm actually looking forward to learning a lot of things from you. So welcome to VinTalks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ma. It's my pleasure that you called me for this discussion. Yes, what you said is right. Compared to when I started to maybe it was in 90s that I got into the job. Compared to that time to now, of course, there are many more women, but the challenges still remain the same. It is an exciting field, and I think it's God's grace, and also it was a passion from beginning, which I am happy that I've come here, and there's miles to go. Yes, thank you so much.
So, ma'am, I know that you started as a scientist at DRDO, and then now you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Take us through that journey.
Yeah, see, I did my schooling and all in North Karnataka in Hubli. Mm-hmm. And, when I was coming to 10th or 11th, I started observing and seeing news about what is happening in ISRO, what is happening in DRDO, and computer science was something new. So these two were attracting me a lot. And I was already very much passionate about physics. And, so this combination, I wanted something to happen. I wanted to go in that mode. And I did my BSc Physics and then applied for DRDO, came up with a scheme. And I applied for it. And I remember even in the interview for the, for joining, I was asked about the ISRO satellite program, etc. and all that. So it seemed like, a divine intervention to put things in place. And yes, of course, I didn't join engineering. I was a little bit disappointed. I had got an admission and due to, typical middle class financial issues and all that, I couldn't join. I had got a government seat, but I couldn't join. But my school teacher, physics sir, called me and told me, don't worry, you'll never regret this. Because your intentions are right and your passion and you're going in that direction, God will course correct. And it happened. And, I landed up in DRDO. And that was my glorious time actually. And I really enjoyed what I wanted. And I wanted to do something for the country. So doing something for the Defense Force, computer science and R&D. Yeah. It was a deadly combination. And of course, I was one of the first few women coming there. And that by itself was a challenge. But, I always addressed it as, thinking that I shouldn't think of it as a male versus female. I tried to get out of that. I tried to play I'm a scientist. If you continuously, consciously do that and don't try to respond to the environment, whatever it is trying to do, I think it will accept you. Yes. And that's what happened. Yes. But I was with DRDO for 15 years. I was with LCA project, did a lot of wonderful things. And I should thank my, my bosses there, Dr. Kota Harinarayana, Kalam and all the other bosses there. They made it convenient for me. I mean, they took me in. With whatever I wanted to do, they were supportive. And of course, my dad, my mom, they understood, they left me do what I want to do, which is very important. And they telling, so that I think everybody helped me out. The support system was very good and everything fell in place. And I think for everybody it will happen if your passion is strong and it's really, that should be there. That I think will take you all through that. I did a lot of good work, but something was missing. I was feeling that, every time it was looking like as though every project I go and give a suggestion to course correct, it doesn't happen, then finally I do it myself. So I was feeling that I should do something on my own. That entrepreneurship, I want to do something and show to people that this is the way to do. Why are you messing it up and then making it okay? So that was always there at the back of mind. And then after my DRDO, I quit DRDO. I took a voluntary retirement. Then went, joined, multinationals, Indian multinational, which was working for bigger companies, world, global companies. And then I joined Thales. I worked for different companies and all throughout I've been doing different systems for the world. I've seen the teams of the world. And I realized even then I was still not feeling it is complete. I felt still I have to do something on my own. So that whole journey after 25 years, some people say I'm a late starter, but at 50, I started on my own. So that's how it was, say the urge to do and show that how it can be done right. In fact, my company's tagline is do as you should.
Do as you should.
Should.
Okay.
Anything. Yes. You want to do marketing, see, we are now, if you see now, many of us are lost from the purpose, In a sense, you want to do marketing, you're not selling your products input. You're trying to tell others are not doing well. That's not right. You have to highlight. So, I gave an example of marketing. Similarly, applying the processes for doing a product, a design. What is your, framework within which you should do. So, you should do everything as you should. The results will come good. So that passion, that in spite of not being, not having enough funds. And in a way, I think it is a blessing in disguise. Because if you have money, I might have spent it all in a year and not known what to do. Now I've learned the art that I have to be careful what I do, but I still have to keep going. Yeah. I think that was a good combination. So that's my journey from being a scientist to an entrepreneur now. Yes.
You spoke about a few very, very common things that, I've heard from every entrepreneur. And I think that is about being passionate about what you do. And second is not losing the purpose that you have in life.
Yes.
And we largely, when we go on in life, we kind of forget what, the purpose why we entered something.
Correct.
And it's lost.
Yes.
But another thing that caught my ear was you said the LCA program.
Yes.
I'm sure there were a lot of things that, went on very well, and there were some challenges.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about it.
Yeah. Challenges, yes, because it is if you take an LCA project, we were doing something, it's a very huge project. I was part of the avionics division, which is 1/3 of the whole aircraft. The aircraft is made smart by avionics. It is giving the intelligence to the aircraft. So if you see now, if you say 5th generation, 6th generation aircraft, the amount of intelligence goes on increasing. It could be IoT, embedded systems, to now AI systems. This is what it is. So we were doing pretty complex job. So, of course, the challenges also will be equally there, and with the kind of, not having the facility of, the global support. So when they feel that you're doing something, they're going to lose the business of buying their things, So when we are building our own. So that challenge also was there. So again, I'm saying it's a blessing in disguise because we understood we have to do it ourselves. So there were a lot of challenges. But overall, our bosses put a nice process and made us go through it. Quality was not compromised. He put all those structures. But at the end of the day, we were getting some challenges because we were doing the first time, So there were, it was more of I would say, a design challenge. It was for discovering the, doing it right. See, design, we understood what is the structure we are going about it. I'll tell you one project where, that was my first embedded system. Okay. And that time we didn't have, we didn't have the systems. We were not getting easily the computers then in 90s and all that. So I had a Pentium system and my target, what we had designed, was a very low-end processor. So I didn't know this, and because of the timing mismatch, I was totally out of, from what the spec was, And so we had to rework, come up with, what do I say, by ourselves. We had to look at, just look at the theory and come up with what could be the solutions. And we were 3 months down the line, I wrote the whole code had to be written in assembly, and then we achieved the target. So in a way, like this, I can list out n number of challenges, which were all like we are part of the bigger project, the LCA. So there are a lot of small things that we started doing, and I used to campaign from that time itself, as you were telling, we have to have our own stack of products, I used to say.
Yes.
I used to say, we are doing something for the bigger project, but let's make something which is reusable. So that we come up with the next version of the aircrafts, or we use it for a missile program, we use it for another program from this technology. So let's make reusable products. So I used to try out, if in the whole main project, I used to carve out some team, funds to make a product. I used to try to make a product, and I have done a lot of, proto versions because LCA itself was so much sucking in terms of time and effort, So these all I used to try to do, but many times it was to stop at proto, And I'm seeing now the products that I suggested in 90s are now being done by some of the Western countries, and they are selling at licenses in crores. So now people are understanding. For example, I'll tell you, Linux is an operating system which came in mid-90s and all that. I used to be passionately attending all the user conferences and getting out what is happening and all that. And I told my office people, lab, DRDO, that let's adopt this now. Let's make it ROS. All my seniors, because they were busy, not that they were all my seniors and they were too good actually. But they felt, this will die out. This is an open source. This will die out. Today, when I meet them, they have all retired and then they say, Bharathi, you said it right that time. So, all through when our focus is on the bigger project, we have had a lot of challenges, which we try to, it could be a process challenge. For example, scientists, the amount of scientists are limited. We cannot keep on taking government employees. So, we came up with a scheme that we will outsource. This outsourcing concept, we brought in then.
Oh, wow.
But we had a wonderful seniors, very good top leaders who accepted inputs from juniors and allowed us to grow up into that position. So we came, in terms of process, we have had a lot of challenges which we came up with suggestions and we made it work. Of course, it could have taken 1 or 2 iterations, but we came up with that and there are a lot of challenges. I told you 1 or 2. Many challenges we have come across and solved it. And now we have, as our Dr. Kota says, it's not only that LCA flew, our confidence also has taken off. Technology has taken off. India is today not taken as a person whom you can come and talk. We understand what they're saying.
What they say, oh yeah.
So that's the transformation. Yes.
It was not an easy task, but the one thing that I also learned here again was, never give up. And you were always an entrepreneur who was somewhere else, working for someone. Yes. When you said that, you were trying to make prototypes of everything, that's thinking ahead in time. And that's what entrepreneurs generally work on. And that's not quite well accepted in a corporate setup or in any setup where, they don't look at such ideas. And we're still, in general, I don't see largely there are corporates who welcome such things, but unless you don't move out and start something on your own, and you do not have the foresight or the thinking like an entrepreneur, both these will not help you to, achieve whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You spoke about a few challenges and few things that helped you, through the process, and it was a learning. And also there was another thing that I thought was very interesting that you spoke about is why make mistakes and then learn them when you know that, there's someone giving you the knowledge who has experienced it and is trying to tell you that, hey, we don't have to do this mistake now. On the same lines, I'm sure the corporate world that you worked in helped you as an entrepreneur. What are the few things other than, the foresight that you had and the challenges that you faced? What are the few more things that helped you from your corporate world to make you an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so when I went from a government setup to a corporate setup, there's a lot of learning, surely. In the sense, how do you, see when you're working on an R&D institute, your boundaries are different. When you are going there, what is it to a customer? How do you satisfy a customer? And how do you make, connection between what you are, the scope of the project? See, in government, you could go a little bit out of boundary and all that thing.
Yeah.
You might discover something else, you might do something else. So that was the kind of place from which I came to the corporate world. There, and systematically managing the customer and giving value add to what the customer asked. You have to differentiate.
Yes.
And you should sell. That was one, I think it's a very, very important thing for an entrepreneur to, to understand. Which I didn't know that I'm going to learn this. But my idea in becoming an entrepreneur, before becoming an entrepreneur, spending some time in the corporate world was I wanted to know what it is. So in fact, I took up global MNCs where I could work, and even the customers were that way. And the team also was a global team.
Yes.
I had people from all countries in all these places, either as customer or as a vendor, partner, or whatever it is. So I got a wholesome view of, and I think that is very important in the corporate culture. One is understanding what is it to, how do you satisfy a customer? That's a big, it can be 3 words, but it means a lot. So you must be conscious and you should be there should be traceability between what the customer wants and what you're giving. You should always be conscious. Everything should be go around it. And second thing is the cost. What you're spending to what you're earning. See the revenue, the profitability. How do you make it? How do you gel this what the customer wants and keep them happy and still make it a business? I think these were some big learnings from there. But as you rightly said, even there, this whole thing, because of these two same things like the customer and running towards making business, making it into a product is always a secondary, working out on detail, coming up with the original product always takes a backseat. So and another thing I believe is whenever you have a company, the company's vision should be to do their own products. But when you want to really be a world leader, you have to have the product, your own product. Your design should be yours. I think the design focus, especially for a country like India, in this situation now, when in this geopolitical situation, where everybody, the world is seeing that India is going to become the superpower. It is marching towards it. I think this concept of having our own design, our own products will add in a big way to that whole concept of us becoming a global leader. We'll have the say, we could do so. I've learned a lot from corporate, but that there also there is a deterrence from, that's why you need to become an entrepreneur. If you want to really do it. But that has been a good learning for me from the corporate world of, really making business. I think that has, I've taken a lot from that to my entrepreneurial journey. Yes.
There are a few things that you spoke about, and I think we should talk a little more about. You spoke about IoT.
Yes.
You spoke about AI.
Yes.
And you spoke about embedded systems.
Yes.
And then you spoke about research and development design.
Correct.
And India.
Yes.
So now putting all those together, I think you've got many years of experience in all these areas.
Yes.
And you were there when the world was still not there.
Yes.
How do you think the whole concept to product is moving towards when we look at it in the IoT embedded space in India per se, and do you think we are making progress?
Yeah, so see, as I said, I started my work from the 90s. 90s, we were doing IoT then. We were doing some amount of AI. In fact, it was one of my favorite subjects in my MSc. But you know what? Now it's become a fashion to give names. You give different names every other day. So you had IoT coming in. It's nothing but embedded systems on the cloud or on internet is IoT. Then now you have Internet of Things, it's called. So you have embedded systems. Basically, embedded system is you making every system, every product that you see around intelligent. You put electronics into it. Then the changeable intelligence is the software, which you can program, reprogram, etc. And over and above that, AI has become adding more intelligence. That means you are trying to, basically intelligence means you're trying to imitate what a human being can do. What embedded systems was doing was, it was trying to automate many of the things, Your fridge is smart, it knows when the milk is over is now, the new thing, It will itself order for the milk and that will be given. You have an IoT, through the cloud it tells. So these are all happening. So there were embedded systems, then it was IoT in a little refined format. Now this AI is adding more intelligence to it. That means closer to the way human thinks, they are trying to bring it in. So if you see world over, there are some giants who are working, but most of it is happening, on the general consumer electronic space or the enterprise world. For example, you have ChatGPT. So you say Excel has become smarter. You can, if you want to, nowadays you're seeing ads on telling, share market.
Yes.
You want to do a better earning, then go for AI-based tools. So there it is coming in. There the amount of intelligence that is required is relatively less compared to the high-tech fields that you see like defense or healthcare. You want to bring devices which take decisions on their own. or an aircraft when you want it to fly on its own. You know, it is. We are doing lots of intelligence is there. We call it as decision support system, wherein the pilot is the final decision maker. If you take an aircraft, so he or an tank. Tanks are also intelligent now with a lot of. So there, the pilot or the man who's running the tank takes the decision, but he is being supported by all these systems. So these are all coming in world over. It is happening. There is a lot of. I feel there's a lot of noise. Actually, what is coming out is going to be related very much in percentage less. And we have been there on embedded systems from then. If not, I wouldn't say on the consumer electronics, which we have been importing components from outside. But on the defense side and the Triforce, whatever we are giving requirements to them, I think we've been on par or above par with the world. But only thing we didn't have we were not, because of so many other conditions, we were not allowed to because of the geopolitical situation. We were forced to buy from somewhere for our own security, and always the government's job is to be prepared for, so they have to make a conscious decision of make versus buy. So that will always be there. They'll start increasing the make once in a while, and suppose there's an urgency, the buy will increase. So this is going on. So we are trying to be in this make space. We want to increase our presence in the make space.
Absolutely.
In buy also, we technology people have a role, because even to buy a component and integrate it, there is some amount. But relatively, we will be more on stronger basis when we have more work on the make side. So this embedded, IoT and AI now, I think the current situation, India is in a very, very crucial stage. I think we should grab this opportunity. I want to, in fact, my dream is to go talking about this, Please start doing designing our own. Let's have a community which designs. You design one, I'll design one. Let us not repeat. Let's all together make a pool of, things which we can give to the global market. We ourselves our home need also is huge. That will be very important, because we will become self-reliant. The intelligence is with us. See, for example, now whatever you say, suppose you take, when in AI, data set plays a big role. The data, whatever data you take, because based on that only, see, suppose, to talk in layman's term, if I want a child to recognize this is a shoe and the child should not bite it, I'll have to show different kinds of shoes and keep on repeating, this is a shoe, this is also a shoe, this is also a shoe.
Correct.
What does it mean? Data set.
Yes.
So similarly, if you extrapolate to big problems, data is the biggest element that will drive the whole success of AI. Now, we are depending on outside world for the data, because they have started already gathering data. We are lagging behind. So, we will start depending on them for data, and they will put on an embargo on giving the data to you. You can't do much without the data. So, this is the right time. We should build our own data sets. We should build our own products. So, I think this is at the right time. There's lots happening, but there should be, I feel, there should be different groups, pressure groups trying to bring this, and with, it will not be self-interest. It could all, self-interest is also embedded in it. But as a country, I think we can do a lot of things. The talent is there. See, if you see anywhere when you want to do some successful technology, you need human resources should be good.
Correct.
Then you need the will to do the design and development. And you should build products, So in all these, human resource also, we have a demographic dividend. We are the youngest nation. So we have the people. So we should use them properly, have this focus. So I think many of us talking about it and interacting, we should have different groups where we keep talking about this and pulling up each other. I think as a nation, we'll be able to do something wonderful.
This is such a wonderful thought that you've put across. I keep hearing, from many people who have been in this industry for quite some time, the electronics industry per se, and they say that long back, when, the entire electronic industry started, when China and every other place was still thinking about, what electronics is, India was there. And we had everything in place. But we were so complacent and we sat back that, they moved forward. We didn't catch the bus.
Yes.
And we're yet again in the same situation where if we do not catch the bus, we're going to miss it again.
Yes.
And everyone else is just going to, bank on that situation.
Yes.
We spoke about a few things in design, and I want to talk a little more about design. And in a few specific segments that, you are into. Let us specifically talk about 3 segments. One is the defense and aerospace, another being the healthcare, and another being sustainable, alternate source of energy, and that we're looking at. And you've worked in all 3 of these sectors. Do you think that in all these 3 segments, there is some innovation that is happening? And there is use of, like you said, it is the intelligence that is needed in terms of, the requirement for these segments are very high. But do you think that, we are there and, we are moving towards that space and the design space in those areas?
Yeah, I think, all these 3 areas that you spoke about, there is need. As I said, there's requirement globally. So many things have to happen. For example, if you take the alternate energy, the technology is still not, available to make it usable technology. For example, it's very costly to take a solar panel and generate energy, So there are hardcore research going on how to make a solar panel cheaper version so that you get it. Now in those areas, that's what is the major job that is going on. So there hardcore technology developments are going on at the very basic level of technology needs. Okay, research kind of thing is going on. Otherwise, mostly it is government has to fund. Otherwise, it doesn't become sustainable, especially for industries to take over. So that's why you'll hear more on the alternate energy space that we need subsidies. It is the need there. But if you come to healthcare and aerospace defense, there's lots that is required because, in healthcare, if you see, one is reducing the distance between the available, healthcare professional to the user. See, for example, a person in Orissa wants a doctor who is in Chennai. He coming here and staying here is a problem. So that connectivity. And more of, doing operations online, getting consultancy online, making you want to get an X-ray to show it to your doctor. So you are asked to go to some other place to get a X-ray done. And then you have to come here, bring that X-ray and come back. So there's a lot of loss of time and data integrity, whether you're getting suppose you don't get the X-ray properly and you're asked to go back again and the doctor says. So this is happening. But in India, that's what I say. It is happening in pieces. I feel there should be connectivity and seeing that together we are able to do, because it's a huge job. It's a huge job. And we know what to do. That's the best thing. The beauty is we know what to do. So there are some big, giants who are trying to do something on that. But again, that's what I'm saying. They're all doctors by profession. They should I'll tell you, you have to see what is your core competency and do. Suppose there is a big medical chain, big group. They cannot, just because they are doctors, they cannot take up this. They are doing that mistake. They try to take technology in their hands. They should ideally start a company which is not controlled by them. Allow technology giants to run a company and give you the outputs.
That you need.
That way. That is not happening. That's about healthcare, because it is more of, it is more a private, this one. So that's what is happening. There are some people, but still significantly we don't have big people there. And another thing is, there are giants world over who are there. When you are trying to do, whether it is in India or outside, when there's already a giant and if you want to match steps, then that difficulty will be there. So that's what is happening in the healthcare. In alternate space, everybody is trying to make better technology to bring it affordable. Healthcare in India, we still are not. But this is the time for us again, even in healthcare industry, to make our do. Yes, because world over there is no people to do it. Aging population, nobody is taking up science. World over they are having problems to get people to colleges itself. Whereas if you see here, we have people going to colleges. Of course, we may discuss that the quality is not good, etc. But we still can do it.
Yes.
We still can do it. But only thing, that is what I said. We have to connect the dots and we have to, join hands. Yes. That should be there. I mean, see, we have to win together. Yeah. And both of us can get our pie.
Yes.
That we should understand. And we should be able to go. That's about healthcare. But aerospace defense, I think we are much ahead than the other two industries as far as India is concerned. Because all through, from day one, whichever is the government, it's always been asking us to deliver. Really? They've been giving us freedom. They've been telling you're different. You do your best. We try our best. So we have been, I should say that come what may, whichever government, now we are of course more Atmanirbhar, Skill India, all that is giving a bigger push. And they are openly showing, and I think because of the geopolitical situation also, there is a bigger push, and we are now very much in aerospace and defense industry. We are more closer to doing things as it should be. But there also there is lots, and as I feel that we also should not be waiting for just government to help us out. We have to take that trouble and we should meet halfway. So there's lots happening there. I think there are a lot of startups to mid-level, like Vinyas has been there in 3-4 decades now. We all are there in the business. So there are veterans, there are juniors coming in, startups coming up. I think all of them should gel and see. They should make a matrix which is comfortable for them, and then we should be able to. I think aerospace and defense is more closer to achieving this than the other two industries. Yeah.
So you're clear that, we are there.
Yes.
But we have to all get together in every segment.
Yes, true.
And work towards, achieving a common goal. Because we are all working towards, but then we're working in separate sides. Right. The more we come together, we reach the goal of, make in India.
Yes, very much.
Quicker.
Yes, true. Very true.
With that, just digressing a little bit, because you spoke about sustainable energy, alternate and everything. Yeah. It's quite the buzzword.
Yeah.
Sustainability in itself is spoken about in every platform.
Yes, true.
Say if it's a quality program, they're talking about sustainability. It's something about entrepreneurship, there is sustainability. You get listed, then you have to be a sustainable, you need to start thinking about it. Do you think in the segment of specifically two of these segments, that is aerospace and defense and healthcare, the word sustainable can be associated?
It's a very tricky question. See, I also, this is also one of my, what focus or I should say interest area.
Okay.
I feel any job you do now, see, Mother Earth is the only one we have. We may say we may have wealth, we all of us can become richer than the other, etc. But there's no other Earth till date. Tomorrow Elon Musk may find something on Mars and he may start giving us plots there. That's a different story. But as of now, and I can't imagine we can get something like Earth, You see what it has, what she has, and how welcoming she has been. You take the river, you take the forest, you take the animals, flora, fauna, everything together. You see it all over the world. I'm telling Earth as a... So, there is a big problem that we are stressing her out. That is true. That is true. But I think, if we take care of the other fields, for example, I feel we are in a hurry to discover things. At least, I don't remember who was the person who spoke. I heard in our, TED Talks. He says over 1 million years of human evolution, we have finished doing important discoveries in the first 100th part. Oh, wow. 99 part we are wasting time, he says. In the sense, see, for example, I feel plastic is such a wasted exercise. Yeah. We were in a hurry to find something to suit our laziness.
Correct.
So we found plastic. And we are living with it. Now what we are doing? We are trying to destroy it. I think this cycle should reduce. Overall, any industry, I think this parameter should be seriously given a thought. You should see whether you are eco-friendly. You should have a checklist and see how much you can reduce at least, if not totally eliminate. That should happen. That should happen at for example, now you are having all these plastic itself again. You're getting, when I was a kid, we used to go to buy milk with cans. Steel vessels we used to take. Then we came up with glass bottles, which we used to return yesterday the old bottles and we'll get new bottles. Now why are we going for plastic? Why are we having sachets? I don't know. Who did this change? And what was the necessity? Did anybody put a thought to it? Oil. I remember for very long, when we were kids, the man used to come with that big drum on a cart. And we used to buy in our vessels. That was a good idea. Why are we with sachets? I don't. So I'm giving one example. Like this, there are, for example, industrial pollution going into the rivers. These all, they have to seriously think. We cannot switch it off in a day. But we have to be serious about the intent and go towards it. Now that's the basic thing about being eco-friendly and saving Mother Earth. Now if you come to my industry, if you look at aerospace, defense, surely we are not in that focus. Even healthcare. Okay? See, what's happening there is that, again, we are trying to give comfort, we are trying to, what is our goal is different, So there, even if I talk of being eco-friendly, I would be dismissed. That's what it is, as of now. But I always think, there's electronics, we are saying about e-waste, handling and all that. It is a subject that we have to worry about. I think we have to work out, that stream has to begin now at least. I think if you look at, I'm telling all the other industries, please bring in rules so that we don't bring newer things without worrying about this. That's the way to start and slowly reduce harmful things. That intent should be there and it should not be changeable. That means, suppose one government comes and it is not bothered, or you bribe somebody, you can get away. That should not be there. That should be reduced. I'm not saying it can, these all cannot be,
eradicated.
Yeah, totally. So we have to keep reducing. That is the realistic view. Aerospace and defense, I feel the amount of electronics that we are using, that's why reusable. How do we come out with, for example, in manufacturing, this digital twin concept has come. How do we do without making major 10 times the prototype? How do we do a EE prototype and then finally go to manufacturing?
Okay.
These are the ways I feel we can bring in being eco-friendly and being more conscious of sustainable goals. I think that's where we are. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. And I learned something new about digital prototype. This is something I had not heard.
Digital twin.
Yes, and I didn't know this existed.
Yes.
And it's quite so when we look at sustainability, it's nice to see that there are different ways we can do it. It's not just about grow more trees and, but there are technological ways in which you can attain the same. True. We've learned a lot. I have surely learned many things today from you, starting from, having the passion, not losing your, what you have in life, that is the purpose. Next is never giving up.
Yes.
Always thinking ahead and having an entrepreneurial thought process. If you really want to be one, you need to have all these precursors. And that sustainability is not just a buzzword, but there is a requirement and there is a need for it. And at the end, before we wrap up this episode, I always ask everyone who is on this platform that if they're youngsters who are thinking about being entrepreneurs in the field of design, concept, aerospace, healthcare, what is it that the one mantra that you want to give them? I know you've given many, but that one thing that is very important.
I think passion is the most significant thing, and never give up. If you have these two, And I think youngsters want to do it, but they should have that guts in them. This is the real guts. They should feel for it. They should not come just because somebody is saying. And they should know that they're really going to get the kick. The youngsters are looking for kick. And this is where the kick is. They should know it. To discover it, they have to walk the path. So I think if they have the passion and the courage to never give up, then they'll get the kick. They should just get it right. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much for giving us the kick today to not ever fall short on the dreams and the passion that we have. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed talking it. It was just a free-flowing talk and it was really lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode where we talk about a concept to product, and we'll see you real soon.